Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jamie, aka Riot here, bringing you another part of my GTA4 Let's Play. I think this is episode 49, this is the penultimate episode. Got end on 50, which is a nice round number to be honest. In this video, as you can see, I continue the boat shootout. I end up getting a hell of a lot of headshots from this, I swear. So I use the pistol a lot, because I find it easier to shoot with. It recoils less than the other guns. So it's easier to, pull off headshots. Eventually you get to Dimitri and take him out. I think I do it with a grenade in the end. So I noticed he's standing by some explosives. So it's pretty easy in the end. It wasn't that much of a boss fight. Then after that I go and meet up with Badman, which is Little Jacob's old friend. And he asked me to go with him, help take some people out. Again, I do that pretty easily. I think I use grenades for that as well. And then, just go in there, clear up with my weapon. But it's nothing tricky. And then finally in this video I go and pick up Kate, which is Patrick McCreary's sister, and I take her to Roman's wedding, which that'll be in the next episode. We literally just arrive at the church in the end of this one, so that's pretty cool that Roman's getting married. And so that'll be in the last episode along with a few other bits. But that's what's going to happen in this video. Just like to say before I get into the actual topic of this commentary, this is the first one of these I've done in about 3 weeks, I think, because obviously, as you know, I went on holiday and I done all of the ones for 2 weeks on that holiday, before that holiday, the week before. And when I got back I forgot to upload one, I think it was this Monday, no, Friday, the Friday I came back I forgot to upload one, so I had Monday's one done already. So it's literally been about 3 weeks since I've had to do one of these. So it seems a bit weird because I've done a lot of live commentaries in between then. I've got a few new series in the lineup, which I've talked about in the vlog. If you go to my vlogging channel, I'll put the link in the description, and that will be where I put all the news, about my channel. So normally I used to do it in these commentaries, but now I'm going to put it in that channel. Actually talk to a camera and say about the updates that are happening. So if you want to, keep up with what's happening on the channel, then go and check out that. That'd be pretty cool. So into the actual topic of this video. It's going to be about the police in the UK, which is a pretty hot topic in the news at the moment. So obviously recently, after the riots, it's come under a lot of scrutiny. So I thought I'd give it a little talk about. Before the riots happened, months and months before, they were always saying that they didn't have enough money for the police because they couldn't afford to pay all the policemen and everything that they needed, and they might have to cut the policemen down even because they didn't have enough money. So obviously the government didn't want that. They wanted to use the money that they had, to spend it wisely, try and get as many policemen as they can out on the streets, but there just didn't seem to be enough money there, and they all kept talking about cutting the amount of police they had on the streets and everything, just so they didn't have to spend as much money on it, which seems obviously ridiculous because you need the police out there to stop the crimes from happening and everything. So I always thought it was a stupid idea, then that if they did it eventually, then obviously things would get out of hand and they'd really regret doing it. Luckily, they were still talking about it, cutting the amount of police they had out on the streets, and then the riots happened in the United Kingdom, or in England. I think it was just England, but if you didn't know about this, I think it was mid-August. It was a couple of weeks ago now. It was while I was on holiday, so I didn't actually, I had to look on the news to find this out. But it started in London, obviously, it's being the capital and all, but people started rioting, they started looting shops and everything, just, breaking shop windows for no reason. I don't even actually know what the riots were about, to be honest. I don't think it was ever, released why they were rioting or anything. It just seemed to, just happen for, seemingly no reason. I'm sure there was one. It's probably, to do with benefits or something. It wasn't your normal people. It was the people that don't have jobs and apparently can barely afford to live and everything, Obviously there was some people in there that like kind of jumped on the bandwagon, saw it was happening and thought, yeah, that looks like a bit of fun, so I'd join in. But I think for the most part it was, I'm not going to say poorer people, but the people that may be out of jobs and stuff because of they feel like the country isn't be running properly, something like that, I would imagine anyway. I'm not 100% sure on that, but yeah, so they started breaking like windows and stuff at shops, stealing stuff out of them. It seemed really pointless because in the long run they're kind of spiting themselves, because obviously if the shops are being smashed into and broken, then obviously the people aren't going to have more people are going to lose jobs, and then it's going to get even worse. So it kind of seems like stupid that they do it for that reason, for the country being bad, not having enough work and everything, and then they're going trash in places that people are actually working at, because they know what it's like to not have a job, but they've just literally made it so more people are now like that, which seems kind of stupid to me. But then you can't be that clever if you go around rioting, to be honest. It's not the most, it's not the best thing to do. Yeah, protesting was obviously better, but maybe you don't get attention from that, and they thought if they done this they'd get a bit more attention, which they did, but it probably won't help anything. It's not gonna suddenly become more jobs just because people have been rioting and smashing shop windows and stealing stock. It's not gonna improve the situation at all. So I don't really understand why they do it, but it happened anyway. So obviously with that happening, the government was like, yeah, we really can't cut policemen. I think it was emergency, all policemen were called in from all over the country. People back from holiday, their holidays were cut short, or if they were going a couple of days after, then they weren't allowed to go, because obviously the whole country's like this, then it would soon get out of hand and it could get really dangerous. So it's all started in London, as I said, but it spread around a bit. I mean, I think it was people in Manchester and Birmingham, places like that. There was all the cities, but it started happening there. There was a place in where I live in Braintree that actually got robbed at knife point. So I think it was Lidl supermarket, which it's nowhere near where I live, but that was actually robbed at knife point. They caught the guy, but still, it's the fact that happened. Still, it's a bit stupid. So people feel the need, to jump in and join in, even though it's they may not know what it's about, or they've got absolutely no reason to do it. But it kind of spread over the country a little bit. It was obviously only major in those few cities that it happened in, obviously because the population's bigger, so there's more people going to do it. It was still worse in London, the worst. It just, I don't really understand. Well, I can sort of understand why it would happen, but still the need for it is not there really. So yeah, once that had happened, it was a few days before they actually cleared it up, stopped it all happening, the police. Once they'd brought in extra forces. I know one of my brother's friends, so my brother's actually a special, voluntary policeman basically. One of his friends was involved down there, and he got his shoulder broken, I think. And he's been in hospital and everything with that, obviously, which is quite bad really if you think about it. He's trying to help him out, the police, he's a voluntary as well, and he goes down there and gets his shoulder broken. It's not really that good luck, to be honest. It's pretty bad that happens, but it shows what the police actually have to go through. Some people say that it's it's not really a good job, but it's one that needs doing, definitely, and it's pretty difficult, I'd say, as well. Obviously keeping everyone under control and everything. Sometimes people get out of hand for literally no reason. So, but yeah, once they cleared up all the riots and everything, they started going back, obviously rethinking this thing about cutting the police, because obviously seeing that happening, it's not, it doesn't look good on the country as a whole. But then they're talking about cutting police. It just seems daft. So they've kind of rethinking that, and they've decided against it now. And instead of cutting the police, they're going to look at how the budget is being spent, because obviously maybe each year the police force is given a certain amount of money to spend, on training new policemen, paying the ones they've got now, and all the other things, running the jails or police headquarters and stuff like that. So obviously that's going to be quite expensive. It's not talking about like a little bit of money. It's going to be a hell of a lot, but they're just looking at how that money is spent. So none of it's being wasted, basically, so they can get as many people out on the street as they can, but not increasing or decreasing the budget, keeping it how it is at the moment, which I think is quite a good idea, because I would imagine it's the same with anything really, that the people at the top are going to be earning more money, and they're probably going to be spending some of that budget on things they maybe shouldn't be. I'm not saying this is definitely happening, but maybe they want a new car, they go out, they think, I could quite easily get that, maybe I need it for work, that's what I need it for, so then they'll take it out the budget, as a work expense, where it's not really what it is about at all, but that's what they kind of mark it down as, so that seems a bit stupid, but so they're basically going to go through the police, make sure that's not happening, make sure every bit of money that they've been given is being used like productively. Maybe they're overspending on certain areas, then they'll try and cut that down a bit, so just to make sure that they can get exactly what they need and what's required out of them, which I think could be said for the government in general, really. I think that needs to be done not just in the police, but in the government as a whole, because as you know, it's been in the paper quite a few times that the government spends money that they really shouldn't be. It's taxpayers' money, and they buy themselves stuff like new cars, they buy all sorts of stuff that expenditure, they put it down as like work expenditure, but really it's not. They spend a lot of money on flights and everything, which they could quite easily pay for, and it's not really down to us to pay for that. I wouldn't say, like the taxpayers, we shouldn't be paying for the Prime Minister or whatever to have a new car, or just like an MP in general. Some of the people that are in the Parliament, they just spend ridiculous amounts of money, and they really don't need to, just on stupid stuff as well. As if that didn't happen, this country would run a lot better, I would imagine, as a whole, because it's not the worst run country, obviously, because we're not in poverty or anything. We've got enough money, there's enough housing, there's a reasonable amount of jobs and everything. We're running, it's obviously quite a few people out of jobs at the moment, but that's mainly because of the recession. That's a global thing, it's not just in this country, so naturally it's going to be lower, but as a whole it's not that bad. It's reasonably run, but I think if just maybe some benefits, they were a bit more harsh with them. I think at the moment they kind of throw out benefits all over the place. Like, fair enough, like if you're genuinely on your own with like 3 kids or whatever, then you should be entitled to something, like some benefit, maybe a house for those if you haven't got anyone supporting you or something. But then there's these people that abuse that system. They like go out and have loads of kids just because they know that they can get the benefits, which I think is wrong, but they still get them, which is even worse, I think, of this country. It's not. I think they need to look into it a bit more. Maybe if you're on that benefit and you can't afford that child, you shouldn't be allowed any more, because then some people do that, they go and have more, and then they get a bigger house and everything, they get more money a month, and most of them are actually better off than people who work, which is clearly wrong, I think. And another thing is, that doesn't seem right. And then I think they've cut down on job seekers allowance quite a lot. It's like basically people haven't got jobs, they give them a certain amount of money each month just to kind of live off. But people used to go on that all the time. They just didn't go and look for a job, they just sat at home on it. But now I think you have to go out and have a certain amount of interviews a week, actually prove that you're trying to look for a job, which is a lot of, that's a big improvement, because I think that actually, if you genuinely can't find a job, then you should be entitled to something. If you've worked before, if you've worked hard for this country, you've paid your taxes and everything. I think it is wrong if you can't find a job and you have no money. But if you're just sitting at home purposely, not finding a job and expecting money from the government, that's wrong. even if you have worked like for a long time in your life, you still shouldn't really do that. So no, I agree with that in a sense. But yeah, what else can I talk about? This video is kind of wrapping up. I've got about 4 minutes left, but it's a subject, it's quite difficult to talk about because a lot of people have different opinions on it. Like, I'm sure there's someone maybe watching this right now who thinks completely the opposite, that benefits are alright how they are and they shouldn't really be changed. But personally, I think that they're too lenient with giving them out. They just it's a lot of money that they give out with benefits each year, and I don't think they should be. Like, you see, maybe like again with people bringing people into this country, yeah, that's a good thing. Obviously, a bigger population, there's more jobs being created, obviously, but we are struggling to give people jobs that are in this country, and they just keep accepting more and more all the time, and it doesn't seem right. Maybe there's people that have lived here all their life that can't get a job because maybe someone has come from somewhere else, moved into this country and got a job. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be able to do that, but I just think that we should be. I think it's like Australia do it. They only let you in if you can offer something to the country, like you're, say, a builder, or I think they even accept like hairdressers and stuff like that. If you've got a profession, then they could accept you into the country. They don't just accept like any old person. You have to like prove that you've got this profession, you've qualified in something. Then they kind of allow you to stay there. You can live there for like, I think it's like a month or something, or a few weeks. It might even be a few months now, I'm not sure, but you can stay there for that long, but you can't live there. And I know it's quite cheap out there. It's quite cheap to live. You can rent really nice houses on there. Not as much money as you may do in this country, but yeah, I think if it was a bit more like that, then I think the country would run better as a whole. Because I know right now professions aren't that sought after because money's tight. Not many people have got that much money, but I think once the economy sorts itself out, maybe everything comes back to normal, the recession stops and all that stuff, but that won't be for a long time. But then professions will be important again, I think, because people will start spending money on their house. So you'll need builders, you'll need like carpenters, all that sort of stuff. People will start spending again, which is what's basically happened in. People haven't got enough money to buy things, so they obviously stop spending, and then because of that, the economy goes downhill because no one's buying anything, so shops start shutting and everything. It's only the main shops really that can survive this kind of thing, like bigger shops. In my, like where I live, there's been a lot of places that have closed down, in the last few years because of that reason, as they can't afford, to stay open and keep running, which is pretty sad really, because some of them, maybe a really good shop. Like there's one at Freeport, it was where I work. It's like a designer shopping village. It was called Mankind. It was kind of like all like gadget stuff. It was quite cool. I mean, they had like those remote control helicopters. They had remote control cars and stuff in there. I got like some Jack Daniels darts from in there and dartboard. That was pretty cool. They had like crazy kind of chess sets. They had glass chess sets. They were pretty nice. And it was all like really like weird stuff that you might not get somewhere else, but it was kind of cool. It was a really good shop, but that was only open for a few months and then it closed down again. I know like there's a couple more shops in town. I can't think now what they were, but they've shut down for pretty similar reasons. Like Zavi was one of them. That was one of the big ones that went down. That was quite early. That was a couple of years ago now. I think they cut all of their shops, like high street shops. They're still online. They still run online, but that's a shame that that's happened. But yeah, hopefully that all sorts out, and the government may trim some of the extra money spending that they don't need to cut. Not necessarily just in the police, but within themselves as well as a organisation. But I can't see that happening. The police one will definitely happen, I'm sure. They'll look into that. Some people won't be too happy about that, but it's got to happen, I think. But yeah, it's pretty serious commentary, this one. It's a different look, different type of commentary. I don't normally do ones as topical as this, but it's been quite good to talk about that. Something that I've obviously been reading about in the news a lot lately, and just thought I'd give you my opinion on it. And I needed to do a commentary, so I thought, what better way to do it. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.